Earth's enormous velocity.
Higher.
And Kim.
Knowledge far in advance of our own.
That's a smart thing.
Contact is established. We now transmit you direct.
Item 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific.
All right. Well, I'm recording on my end.
Same.
Well, Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Item 9. This is Hyra.
And Kim.
So, anything you want to talk about today, Kim?
Not really. Nothing interesting has really happened. I've been watching The Great on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love like a Victorian, what is it? Period piece.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. But other than that, I mean, I watched the finale of The Masked Singer.
Mm-hmm.
I just started the next book in the book series that I'm reading.
Oh, nice.
That's it. What about you?
Not much, just over here trying to get this shed built. I actually used a nail gun today, which was
Ooh.
really scary. But you know
Yeah.
what? I put my big girl panties on and I was like, you know what? Let me shoot this shit. So I did it. And it was strong. Like, I went in there and poof, and I was like, it almost blew me away. But it was all right. Like, it's still scary, but you know what? I conquered the fear.
Yeah, that
check
sounds
mark for me.
dangerous.
No, yeah, it's pretty. It was pretty scary. I was watching this lady roofer. She like goes up there with her nail gun, fucking just all toughed out, just coop. And I was like, man, I wish I was like her. Like, legit, I fell in love for like a second. I was like, man, this is
You know
one
what takes
badass
practice? You too can be like her if you just keep using that nail gun.
bitch. Nah, I'm good. I'm like, I just needed the one time. Like, all right, let's go.
Just experience it just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's like that one time I jumped off that cliff. Am I gonna do it again? Hell no. But did I did it? Yeah. I almost drowned. But you know what? Titty out and everything. But you know what? I was okay.
You know what? I had the opportunity to jump off that cliff and I did not because I cannot swim. If I could swim,
Mm-hmm.
I would have done it because I'm not like afraid of heights.
Yeah.
And then it's like plus everybody else is doing it, so I know like the odds of me being hurt are low.
Yeah.
Since so many other people had done it. But the fact that I can't swim, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit this one out.
Yeah, I can't swim either. But like, I was all like, I told them like, hey yo, I can't swim. Y'all know I can't swim. It's all right. We got you. I was like, all right, y'all got me right. I was like, all right. So I'm like, I'm going. Like I'm putting faith on y'all. My life, your hands, and I'm jumping.
My life, your hands.
Yeah, so I jumped. Man, I was going. I didn't even, like. I went down so fast. I just remember hitting the water, and I was down in the water, and I was like, I am still sinking. Like I was not. Yeah. So like you come down, and supposedly they're like, yeah, you come down, but then hold on. So they were saying that once you're down there, like something pushes you up. So I remember like jumping and I'm going in the water and I'm just going sink. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm still sinking. When am I going to pop up? And literally like I started like flailing because I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going up. So I start flailing and eventually something happens and I end up. And then I forgot who it was, but one of the guys came to go get me. And, I'm over here like, ooh. So I'm grabbing onto him like, no, like, save
Literally
me.
dying.
Literally dying, yeah. Because I haven't been breathing. Like, I was down for too long. So I'm grabbing onto them, and I don't even notice that my titty's all out. So I'm over here like, ooh, like arms are flailing, grabbing onto the neck, and I'm like, don't let go. So I go, and then finally they drop me off, and they're like,
Your boob.
yeah, they're like, you might want to look down. Like, I'm like, oh, thank you, sir. So I gotta pop that shit back in real quick, do a little shimmy, and be like, fuck, I almost died. Never doing that shit again. But I did.
We gotta take that swim class. We gotta
do something.
We gotta take a swim class.
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
we're being like hindered in life by not knowing how to swim.
Oh my God. I don't know. Hold on, these shoes. I'm trying to break in these shoes, but I'm like every little bit I gotta take my foot out because my toes are gonna fall off because they ain't got no blood. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't like water. Okay, I like water, but I just don't. Well, when I think of learning how to swim, I think of beach because it's just like everyone always wants to go to the beach, and I don't like the beach. I don't like the sun. I don't like the sand, and I just don't like sun and sand together. So like it's just not my spot to go. But I want to
One or
learn.
the other.
Yeah, like I'd want to go to like a lake or something like that. You know, like that'd be cool. Like I do that, but I ain't going to no beach. Not in the daytime. Not with no sand. Like hell no. Like not
Yeah,
about
I don't want to swim at the beach either. Like I'm thinking about a pool.
it.
Like we go to the gym, go in the pool.
Okay. When you
There's
said
a
that,
lifeguard.
yes, we need one of those.
Yeah, we definitely need supervision. We shouldn't be out there unsupervised.
Definitely not, especially with our lack of fins. Yeah, you're right. And gills.
And gills.
Yep. Like we don't need. We need some real heroes out there, and those are the people who can swim.
Who are trained to swim.
Exactly.
Man, I've been going to camp for like 10 years and I've never gotten in that pool.
Really?
I've never gotten in the pool. Like, I've been canoeing and stuff, but I never, like, I'll go to the pool. Like, obviously, when I, like, because before last summer, I was always a counselor up until last summer when I became director.
Mm-hmm.
But I would always go. And then after, you know, my girls are situated and they don't done the swim test or whatever, and they're getting in, having fun, I just sit down, just watch them.
Mm-mm.
I don't ever get in the water.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel weird going into like a public pool.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like people be peeing in. Yeah, exactly. People be peeing in there. Sometimes children be pooping in there. Like shit happens.
Girl, one summer, I still remember a couple years ago, one summer, we weren't even at the pool. It was like the gossip spread so fast at camp.
Oh my god.
I forget, something happened, and I think they had like kind of rounded up all the teen cabins, and then we were gonna have like a water balloon fight or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just like heading over to the field, and I think we passed one of the younger cabins because they were the ones that were in the pool.
Uh-huh.
And I guess some kid pooped in the pool.
Ooh.
And no, but that's not even the crazy. But the crazy part is one of the perm staff, I remember it was a girl,
Uh-oh.
picked the turd up
Ew,
in
with
her bare hand.
Ew.
Her bare hand.
That's
And the kids, that's what they was telling. The kids ran up to tell us. And I'm
Shit.
just like, that's disgusting.
Like, y'all can get some gloves or something.
I
Or
know they
the
got
net.
gloves.
Grab the net.
They have a net. It's on display.
I just would not grab some shit with my bare hands. Like, I'm
Oh,
just
no.
not built for that. Like, I can't. Oh my god.
I'm not built for it with gloves, so
I wonder if she's
can't
a
even
mother.
imagine.
Because moms be doing some
Maybe.
crazy ass
You know
shit.
what? I don't think so. Because most of the
Oh.
time, like the perm staff or whatever that be up there be like young, so they be like 18 to like 25 or something.
She's gonna be a great mother. I will say that. Like,
Yeah.
she was able to grab some randos shit in her hand. Imagine the shit she'll do for her children. Like,
Yeah, some random kids poop. She ready.
mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Same. Fuck. I don't even want to grab my own child's shit. Like, I'm like, can I return this? What's
Can
the
you
return
just?
policy?
You know what? What if life was like, when you're
Target?
playing Pokemon
Oh.
and you can drop them off at the daycare and come back when they're evolved a little bit.
You know what? Unfortunately, that can happen. There are daycares.
If we were rich enough,
Yeah.
we could send a kid away
nanny,
until
have a nanny.
no, not even nanny, but like you could send them away to like boarding school until they're at an age where you are ready to work with them.
Until you're like, all right, you're developed enough. All right, I can do this.
I think in the Sims 2 or 3 you could do that. You could send a kid off to boarding school
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
and just like forget about them until you're ready to bring them back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't do that with my children. I feel like if I have kids, I want to be there to like parent, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I guess that's how I was raised. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't think I could just send them off. Like, maybe if they're difficult, maybe. Like, I'd be like, fuck, why the hell did I do this? But if,
Difficult, lemon, difficult.
yeah. It was supposed to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. It wasn't. It's,
Difficult, lemon, difficult.
yeah. Well, anyway, you ready to get started for today?
Oh, yeah.
So, today, for my topic, I decided to delve into the mind of flat earthing.
Girl, I was
Yeah.
gonna do that too. We were literally just talking about it at work.
No way.
Because of that I was telling some of my coworkers about that documentary that they have on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna do that too. Go ahead, let's do this.
My bad.
Go.
Sorry. All right. So, as you know, people who believe in flat Earth obviously believe that the Earth is flat. They think that the North Pole is in the center with all the continents around it, and then around the Earth, it's like giant walls of ice.
Ice.
Yeah, just keeping like the oceans and everything inside. Some of them believe that there is an actual dome. I think it's called what's it called? Firmament. It's pretty much like a dome that pretty much separates Earth and like space or the heavens or whatever you want to call it. A lot of flat earthers, not all of them, but a lot of them don't believe in gravity. They believe in only that. I don't know. It's like they only believe what they can see, and since they can't see gravity, it's like it must not exist. And
Wait, okay, so do they not believe in air? You can't see air. You can see oxygen.
Wind. You can see wind. Like, you can see the...
Yeah, but wind and air is, like, a little bit different.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't see oxygen.
I didn't delve into their thinking about oxygen and stuff like that, but they say they can't see gravity.
If I ever met a flat earther, like, I have so many questions. Like, I'm gonna ask questions, but I want them to just tell me everything.
I know.
Load it down.
You know how hard it is to find, like, what they believe in? It's like they all tell us just about, like, the flat earth, but they don't tell us why they believe in it. Like, nothing like that. It's just, you really gotta, like, search for that kind of information. But yeah, some of them actually believe that the way they rationalize gravity is by, like, so you know how we're, like, flat on a disc, right? So I guess we just go up. So, like, we get pushed up, and that's how, like, things come down. It's not them coming down. It's us going up to meet the object or whatever. I don't know. To me, it's like, how do you believe that? Like, you can't even see. Hold on. We'll get to some. So, some of them also since they don't believe in gravity, they're just, like, okay, so they don't believe in gravity, and they also don't believe that the earth is spinning in its rotation, because they're all like, if we're spinning, wouldn't we be feeling it? Wouldn't us spinning around, shouldn't we feel something, some push, some pull, something? And they're like, and this gravity, and if this gravity is really that strong to pull planets towards the sun?
Yeah, around the sun.
Around the sun, if gravity is strong enough to pull planets around the sun, how is it weak enough to let planes fly? How is it weak enough to let birds and bugs, like, be around? Like, how are humans not being squished by this gravity? So, it's just, for me, I feel like they just don't understand. And I don't know if it's, because for some, not for all of them, but for some of them, at least the more... Because I want to say for flat earthers, it's more like of a religious type of thing. Like, people really believe in it because of the Bible. Like, they read the Bible, and they're all like, it's literally flat, because there are verses that tell us that the earth is flat. So, they're all like, if we can't believe in scripture, then everything else is a lie. So, it's these more people who take the Bible literally, who I feel like they don't understand, or they don't want to understand, because... if the Bible isn't what they think it is, like 100% accurate, then what the fuck have they been believing in, you know? But the more, I guess, open-minded flat earthers, because there are a lot of flat earthers that get into it to try to debunk it, like how we saw, you know, that documentary. Some of them go in there and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna debunk it so I can show people, like, ha ha ha. But at the end of it, they just get sucked into like the mystery of it, because, you know, at the end of the day, us regular people, we're never gonna make it up in space, at least not in this lifetime. You know, all we have is the word of NASA. All we have is pretty much what, I guess, the government tells us about it. So for them, they're already very skeptical about the government, about people in control and stuff like that. So they're all like, how do we know that they're not lying to us? So they're just over here trying to make this work for them. Because I don't want to say that they're dumb, because a lot of them believe, like, in evolution. They believe in a lot of this scientific stuff that's happening. But for some reason, this flat earth is what kind of stumps them. And I guess it's just like I said, like, they can't get up there, you know? So that's one of the things. So some of them also are like, well, a lot of religions back in the day, they all depict a flat earth. But I'm all like, back in the day, they didn't know any better. Like, there was no...
They also didn't move around a whole lot.
They definitely didn't move around a whole lot. So it's like, of course, they're only gonna believe what they see, and what they see is flatness. Like, there was no scientific advancement. They weren't questioning these kind of things. Like, for them, the reasons things are happening was because of the gods, so they didn't have a reason to question it. So of course they would think that the earth was flat. Like, obviously, like, why, like, how else can they prove it? There's no other way. So I don't think that that's really a valid point, but you know what, that's neither here or there. So let's get into some history here. So like I said, early Egyptians and Mesopotamians believed that the world was floating on a disc in water. Israelites also believed in that the world was floating in a disc in water, but they also thought that there was an arc for firmament. What was it? Yeah, firmament, like I was telling you. And for them, it was because it was separating the earth and the heavens, like I was saying earlier. And they believe that the sky is solid, and that the sun and the moon and stars are embedded within the solid dome.
See, that's another thing that I always thought was interesting, because I think one of the issues that I have with the flat earth isn't even the fact that they think that the earth is flat. They don't have a unified ideology. Yeah,
no, they don't.
Some of them believe in the dome thing. Some of them believe we're just like a flat landmass, like floating. Like, they kind of got to get it together and be like, okay, this is what we collectively believe, you know?
Yeah, but there's so many like sub branches of flat earth that it's just like, it just really depends on what, like, I kind of see flat earth as a religion of its own type of thing, you know what I mean? It's like, you believe in it hard enough, it kind of becomes kind of religious if you see it in that perspective.
Yeah.
But, you know, so like, even in the Age of Enlightenment, you know, the intellectual revolution, people still kind of believed in like a flat earth. But, you know, this is the time where people are actually starting to think about things, you know? So some people are starting to notice things that, like, you know what? Maybe the earth is a sphere. Maybe it's not flat. So around that time, people started to kind of agree. It's like, okay, yeah, the earth is a sphere. So a lot of people kind of just left it at that. Because for a long time, like, you know, there were still those people who believed that the earth was flat. But more people were kind of realizing, like, nah, it's a sphere. So they just kind of left it at that. And the majority actually thought that the earth was a sphere. So we're taking it back to the religion. And the reason why some people think that the earth is flat, well, we're getting to another part of flat earth, which is square earth.
See, I didn't even know about that.
Square earth.
I guess that's the landmass people. The people who think it's just a landmass out there.
Yeah. Well, no, these people specifically believe. Well, this is more like, I guess, more religious. But these people believe that the Earth itself is a square, but we live in a circular part in that square. And the reason why they believe that is because in excuse me, I'm about to burp. Excuse me. In Revelations, it says, After this, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth to prevent any wind from blowing on the land or on the sea or on any tree. So, a lot of people, like I said, take this literally. So they're all like, well, how can there be 4 ends in a square? I mean, in a circle. Like, there's no ends, like, to a circle. So I'm like, well, obviously it means that there's a square and we're in the circle inside of the square.
And then there's 4 corners. Boop, 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 boop.
Exactly. With the 4 angels, standing guard, making sure.
Question, though. Like,
Yeah.
if we're going to take these things literally,
Mm-hmm.
how could one person see all 4 corners?
Maybe they got a ride from the angels and they're like, look, we're going to put one there. All right,
So now there's a 5th angel that is shuttling this person around.
I don't know. Like, I wasn't born at this time. I wish I was, because I'm like, can I also get a ride on that shit too? Like, I want to see, like,
Yeah,
please.
let's all go.
Yeah, like, all of us
Let's make it
together.
a tram. We'll just load in, roll through. You just give us the tour of the square that we live on.
Exactly. And it's like,
You know what? The one that I could get behind that I
Mhm.
like, is the turtle one.
you know what? I did see that people were saying that they, like, Native Americans believe in the turtle. So there's some people who do believe that the earth is still flat. But I'll get to it. It gets there in a minute. But
Well, because the turtle's back is round either way, so
yeah, but they do.
we on
believe,
some sort of curve.
Yeah, they do believe that some of them believe that we're like on a kind of like in a bowl type of thing. Like, we're flat, but we're still kind of like in a bowl type.
Oh,
situation.
round the other way.
Yeah,
convex.
around the other. Yeah, convex. Exactly. So we'll get there. It's in my notes.
We're in a bowl.
We're in a bowl. We're just some cereal in the universe. Eventually, the spoon will get inserted, and we're gonna be fucked.
Well, really, we're like greens.
We're like greens, so the fork's
Yeah.
gonna be stabbing in.
Yeah,
We're
'cause
just a salad?
remember- yeah, well, because remember,
The
we need this. We need water. We need the sunlight to grow.
Oh yeah, like you said, we're just complicated plants. So we're just
Yeah.
someone's salad that's just growing its own thing. I'm just gonna have a big ass salad at the end of this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a little. Dang.
Unnerving.
Yeah, I don't want to be stabbed by anything. So, and
Or
I
scooped.
or scooped. Hell no. I just don't want to be eaten. Listen, for me, it's like, I don't care if someone eats me. Just make sure I'm dead. Like, dead.
It's that eating alive is the problem.
Yes, being eaten alive is a problem. Like, just make sure that I am dead. Like, I don't want to feel nothing. Other than that initial, nothing else.
I don't want to be eaten at all. Just throwing it out there.
I don't want to be eaten either. But if push comes to shove, just please make sure I'm dead. Like,
If
dead,
that's
dead.
your only option.
Yeah, like, please. So in Isaiah, I guess they say, he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. So they're all like, well, there you go. The earth is a circle. But you know what's funny to me?
And we're bugs.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just fodder over here, god damn it. But no, it's just like, okay, it says it's a circle, but how do we not know that this circle, like, they call it a circle, but it's actually a sphere. Like, spheres are circles, just 3-dimensional. So it's all like, maybe they just called it a circle, like, but then
They didn't have a word for a rounded circle.
yeah, they
like
didn't have the sphere word. They're the
Yeah.
circle. So they're gay. There's a circle. So
Oh.
So, around the 18th century, flat Earth theories start to come back. It's not like they never disappeared, but they just kind of started growing again. I don't know, I guess that's just kind of like a trend. Like, flat Earth is one of those things where, like, it'll, like, dissipate, but then randomly, like, you'll have, like, a big shoot up. Like, hey, we believe in this shit. Like, we're not gone. We're still here, bitches. So, around the 18th century, we started getting more people who started believing in the flat earth theory. But we gotta understand, like, around the 17th, 18th, 19th century, we started having like a lot of advancements in like science and math and things like that. And these were things that, like I was saying, a lot of people didn't understand because they were barely becoming a thing. So people are over here trying to prove that the earth is a sphere by using math, and this math that regular people don't understand. Like, if someone's gonna come at me with math about a sphere, I'm gonna be like, what?
I'm not even gonna say what. I'm be like, all right.
Yeah, so it's like I understand where they're coming from when they're all like, when they don't understand. But see, that's the problem. Is like, either they don't want to understand or they don't want to learn, which is fine. But it's all like, you can't just be like, this is all bullshit. Like, if the numbers matter, like, I think what we've learned, I guess, now that we're further into the future, we know that numbers don't lie. Numbers are like one of the most honest things out there. So like, if it's giving us something that's showing us a circle, like a sphere, then it's a sphere. Like, no one's arguing with you. Like, a circle can be a sphere, you know what I mean? But they just didn't understand, and that's the thing. Like, they just don't. Their mind just can't
understand.
Grasp it. Yeah.
I don't. You seen that meme where she's like, I don't understand.
No.
I don't. I gotta look it up. So
that's
I
my
can
whole life. Like, huh?
Because she starts dancing.
Oh. But yeah. So yeah, around that time we just start having like, all the math and all that shit, right? So in the 18th century, there starts to be a big following for Zetetic? I think it's Zetetic people, which pretty much just means seeker or skeptic. So, these are people who are trying to be skeptics or trying to debunk like math and science because they don't like it, because it's not working with what the Bible is pretty much telling them, things that they can physically see. So they start to have their own kind of like clique, and they're trying to pretty much become like their own kind of like scientists. They're like, you know what, we're gonna get together, we're going to do our own experiments, and we're gonna be like, you know what, this shit is accurate, and this is why our earth is flat. So they're like, the earth is flat, everything on earth, everything revolves around the earth, so we're gonna prove this. So they're going out, they're doing their own thing. And when people ask them about satellites, they don't believe in them because they think it's a hoax, because a lot of the people who create these kind of things, you end up realizing, are Freemasons. And for them, they're all like, these Freemasons don't want us to think. They want us to just absorb everything that they're saying as fact, so we can just be sheep to follow them. Which, same. Like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'd be feeling like that too. But, at the end of the day, you gotta think,
Yeah, you gotta pick and choose on which things are conspiracies and which things are not.
Yeah. So, same thing. They think NASA's a lie, because a lot of people who are in NASA who started, being really high in NASA are also from descent and things like that. Some of them also believe that the moon, how we're taught that the moon doesn't have its own light, like it just reflects what the sun has, like the light from the sun, right?
Yeah.
So they don't believe that. They believe that the moon has its own light, like it's its own thing.
Wait, but we don't have our own light here.
What do you mean?
We use the light from the sun.
Yeah, but
so they don't think that the moon is also doing the same thing?
No, they believe that the moon is its own light, like it's its own thing. Because when, I guess I can't, but I think when I was looking at someone who was doing like the research, they said that it's cooler. Like in the shade it's warmer, and out it's in the shade it's warmer, and out like in regular non-shade it's warmer. And they're like, well, that's not what the earth, like if it was.
But that's how it is here. It's cooler in the shade and it's hotter not in the shade.
No. With the moon one, if they're in the shade, it's warmer.
Oh, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. Yeah. Okay. So that's why they're saying that it has to be its own light, because if it was from the sun, it would be the same. Like if it was in the shade, it would be cooler, and if it was out, it would be warmer. So
But how do they know?
they were just doing their own little like experiments with like thermal things. But you know, a lot of these things go either way. Like everything I was like reading, they do experiments to debunk these things, and they just get like mixed things anyway, and they just go with the ones that fit what they believe in.
Yeah.
So,
Because like in the documentary, because they show a couple different experiments throughout, different people doing different stuff. But the like main experiment that they're doing, well, that the camera people are following, is this one that they're doing with the lasers to disprove the curvature of the Earth. And so they had these giant boards, and they had them spread out like over a large amount of space, like far enough that they had to like pretty much use walkie-talkies and stuff to transfer the information per. So the first issue that they had was the laser that they got was powerful enough to reach the second board, but when it reached the second board, it like covered it. It spread out.
Yeah.
And so they had to go back to drawing board to get the laser to configure it so that it would stay like a straight beam. And so pretty much by the end of the movie, by the end of the documentary, because their thing is, they're like, the Earth is flat, so that means it's gonna hit the same spot on each board. If there was a curvature of the Earth with the distance that they have placed these giant boards, if there's a curvature, that means that it's gonna move up when it gets to the middle one, and then start moving down on the next one.
Yeah.
They hadn't even gotten to the third board yet with their experiment, so they were shooting the laser, and at the very end of the documentary, they walk you over to who's that board to, and they're like, hey, like, where is it measured at? And it's up higher. So I'm like, during their experiment of them trying to prove that there is no curvature of the Earth with the lasers, they prove that there is curvature of the Earth because it moved. It was up. It moved up.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the, like, I'll go through some of that stuff too. But yeah, that's what ends up happening with a lot of these experiments. Actually, they end up getting like both results somehow, but they just go with the one that fits them the most.
Yeah.
Another reason why they believe that the moon is its own light is because the Freemason, their symbol actually has like the moon like cut out by itself. Like, here, let me pull up a Freemason picture. So
You can share screen so I can see it.
oh yeah, let me see. Freemason symbol. How did you know that's what I wanted?
Because it heard you?
I
Because they
know.
were listening? I was telling my mom about that last night. Because she said she feels like maybe she keeps hearing this noise. She thinks like someone's listening to her call. And I'm like, well, us millennials have just come to the terms with that. And we just assume that we each have an individual FBI person that listens to everything and monitors everything that we do. And you just kind of live with them.
Yeah.
And she was like, what?
Fuck, let me see. Shit, I can't find it. I know when I was doing this, when I was looking this up, they had a really good picture, and it was just like cut out in it. Maybe it's still on my phone. Let me see. Flat Earth.
You have to look up their specific Freemason.
Yeah, the one that they use. Because the one that they use, I was like, okay. Because it was cut out at the bottom, so you can see, like, it was cut out. Like, I guess the sun was around it. And then in the bottom, like, in the bottom down here, the moon was cut out. So they were kind of showing it as, like, its own thing. So that's why they believe that it's its own light source. Because if the Freemasons have it on there, so it's got to be true, you know?
But with what they're saying, that means that, because there's probably like multiple like Freemason multiple Freemason symbols, like logos or whatever. So that means that they have to be harping on a specific one. They're like, oh, this one right here shows the moon, but they might not all show the moon.
Yeah, they really start picking and choosing some of the stuff that they end up having.
I just want them to get it together. Like, I'm not judging. Like,
Me neither.
it doesn't really matter where you think we live, because
I don't
we
care.
here regardless, you
Yeah.
know? But just kind of get your ideology together.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need to have a meeting and pick and choose, be like, this is what we believe.
Uh-huh.
And don't, and everybody needs to agree on it.
Yeah. That's
This
true.
is the thing.
A lot of the flat earthers also believe that the sun and the moon are the same size. So there's
Okay.
that. Like
So
I
what, is the moon farther away, or?
No, they just think they're both the same size. Like that they think, because you know how for us the sun and the moon look the same because the sun is so much farther.
Uh-huh.
They don't believe that. They're just like, that's some bullshit that they want you to believe. The sun and the moon are their own little lights, and they're close together. They don't believe that it's so far. I think they think that it's only like 3,000 meters far. I think like the distance. It's not not far at
nearly
all.
as far as where
Yeah, not at all.
it's
but-
like right there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, but yeah, like I was saying, they think that gravity's bullshit because, you know, of Isaac Newton. He was a Freemason. They're all like I was saying, how can gravity be strong enough to pull large things like planes and planets, but weak enough to like let birds, planes, and stuff like that fly around? And they're all like, the actual reason why things fall is because of its weight. As simple as that. It's gonna fall. If it's heavy, it's gonna fall. That's their ideology.
But that's kind of still gravity, though.
Yeah, but you know, they just don't word it as that. They're like, just density.
They're like, it's not gravity. Yeah, they're like, it's not gravity. It's just heavy things fall.
Exactly. Yeah, obviously. Per usual, they think that the moon landing is a hoax because, you know, we're in cahoots with Hollywood. They're all trying to keep us, you know, they're trying to make sure that we don't know the truth, because if we knew the truth, then, you know, this whole fake, like, universe that they set up for us will implode, and then all the people in power will no longer be in power, and it'll be us being able to see through clean eyes.
People who deny the moon landing are putting a lot of weight on if people care about that or not.
True.
I'm like, we just found out this month. The government just released that there's UFOs out there, and ain't nobody even batted an eye. So obviously, if they were like, you know what, y'all, we didn't really go, ain't nobody gonna care.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people care.
I think boomers are gonna care.
Yeah.
I think older people are gonna care.
I think I'd be like, well, they lied to us before. What else is new?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're like, okay, they be lying to us every day. Like, we get lied to all the time.
I
So
know,
it's
like,
just
we
like
know.
a way of life for us.
I know.
But people who are older are gonna be the ones that rage in the streets. Like,
because they're the ones who
That-
really believe, you know? They're like,
I met somebody who didn't believe the moon was real at all.
You know what? There are some people who do believe that shit.
She
but
said that's the fakest thing out here, and I was like, you know what, girl?
you do you, man. Like,
Yeah, you do you.
I ain't never been up there. I just see it. Like, for all I know, it could be a fucking projection. I don't know. You know what? One of my favorite cartoons, one of the things I really watched that stuck with me for a long time was that Wallace and Gromit movie where they went to the moon and it was cheese. And they're up there eating crackers and pulling piece of moon and putting it on their cracker. So for a long time, I'm like, so the moon's just cheese, eh? Like,
I've only seen one Wallace and Gromit movie, and that was The Curse of the Were Rabbit.
Were Rabbit? Oh shit,
That's the only one I've seen.
Hey, rabbits bite hard, so I'd be scared.
The Curse of the Were Rabbit.
So, the founder of Flat Earth Mentality, his name is Samuel Burley Robotham, also known as Parallax. He has the coolest nickname, Parallax. Like, I fucking love that nickname. Do you know what parallax means?
No.
Hold on, let me find out, because I want to say it right. I want to say that shit right,
The right definition for this
because it was perfect.
one word name.
His AKA. So, parallax means the effect of the position or direction of an object, the effect whereby the position or direction of an object appears to be different from another view depending on what position you look at it from.
Say it again.
Let me see.
I'm trying to have it sink in.
So pretty much it just means that an object or an object can be seen differently depending on what position or what view you're seeing it from.
Okay.
Which pretty much I feel like it fits flat earthing like to a fucking T. Depending on where in the spectrum of flat earthing you are in, you will see things completely different. Like the ones who believe in the square earth, the ones who believe that we're in a fucking bowl, the ones who just think we're just in a flat disc, they're all different. It's all pretty much similar, but depending on which point of view you see it from, it's different. So I feel like he had one of like the most perfect nicknames for what he started a movement for. A Parallax, he was born in the 1816s and he died on December 23rd, 1884. He wrote one of the biggest flat earth books that a lot of them start off reading, and it's called Zetetic Astronomy, Earth, Not a Globe, under the name of Parallax. That's why people call him Parallax. So, you know, in 1819, this cat named John Hampton, he also jumps on that bandwagon because, you know, he starts hearing, you know, Parallax. He read the Parallax book. He starts, you know, really living this life. So, yeah, at some point of his life, he ends up meeting this guy named Alfred Wallace. And Alfred Wallace, he's a British naturalist. He is mostly known for co-discovering evolution and natural selection with Charles Darwin. So that's like one of the big things he's known for. So at some point, like I'm saying, he meets Alfred Wallace. So they get together and they're like, they meet up and they start talking and they make a bet and they're all like, you know what? We're both going to run experiments to prove if the Earth is flat or to see if the Earth is round. So, you know, they both start doing an experiment, which is called the Bedford Canal Experiment, which pretty much is just an observational experiment through a 6-mile long river to prove, you know, to prove what's up with the Earth. So they do their experiments and they both end up getting different results.
Okay, because that's what in my head I was like, they didn't get the same thing.
No, they did not. So obviously, ends up seeing like, yes, the Earth is flat. I have proven this. But Mr. Wallace, he ends up saying like, nah, bitch, the Earth has a curve to it. So they both end up writing, you know, their findings. They write them down. And the thing about Mr. Hampton, this guy is kind of like me. You know what I mean? Like, he talks, though I'm sure the way he writes is the way he talks, which he uses profanity, like, not very scientific terms for things. Mm-hmm. So when they both end up writing their conclusions, you know, people will read both of them. Obviously, they're going to go with the one that's more thought
easier
out
to read,
more thought out, the more scientific one. A lot of more people start going with the Wallace outcomes. So Hampton, after that was released, he felt like he was done wrong, so he starts writing a shitload of like letters to his editors and pamphlets for the public, just talking all this shit about Wallace. And he even starts writing letters to this guy's wife. And he's, like, threatening his life. And he's all like, when this guy goes missing, you best believe, blah, 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 that kind of shit. Just, like, going fucking ham on this dude with his letters and shit like that. And it was just like, dude, chill.
And this is because the other guy's stuff was more popular?
Yeah, his other stuff was more well received. Honestly, I think if he would have just wrote it maybe in a more, like, smarter tone, because you gotta know your audience. If
Yeah.
you're talking to,
You gotta
all
read the room.
exactly, you gotta know them. So like, if you know you're fucking talking to these fucking melon heads, hey, to these smart ass people, you gotta sound a little smart. You can't just come in over here fucking talking whatever shit you want to talk. Like, no, you have to know how to communicate with these people.
Yeah.
So I think that's all that it was. At least from what I read, that's what it seems like it was. But you know what? I don't know. Maybe they were all like, nah, this shit's just bullshit too. But the good thing about this Belford experiment is that this started helping more flat earth people do more experiments like it. So pretty much the Belford experiment pretty much just opened a doorway for all these other flat earth people to start doing different experiments. In the 19th century, though, the globe was starting to be a big thing. So, around this time, it's when, like, the globe and spherical Earth started being, put more in people's face. This is when, like, they were putting that shit in the schools and stuff like that. So, like, a lot of the kids were
teaching everybody about the globe.
That's what they're doing. So, that also started, getting on some of the flat earthers' nerves. But, what can they do?
They're like, wow, you see this propaganda they teaching the kids? They slamming the homework on the table. You see this globe nonsense?
That shit needs to be for playground, not for the classroom. Shit. Let's get to Square Earth. I think we've already talked about Square Earth.
Yeah, because I haven't heard much about Square Earth at all.
So, Square Earth is pretty much the same thing. They think we live in the center of an inverted soup bowl that is inside of a square.
Oh, so it's still a square, but
inside of the square there is a circle.
But there's
inverted. Yeah, we're in a bowl. We're in a square bowl.
A square bowl with a round inside.
Yes, ma'am. So, for Square Earth, there's this guy named Roger M. Wilcox. Man, this dude, his ideology for Square Earth is pretty much just all literal biblical sense type things. So, I started, looking through, like, his website and stuff like that. Hold on, let me read this to you. Why the earth must be square. We know that God is perfect. God would, therefore, have created the earth in the most perfect shape possible. As I've already proven, we know from Revelation 7:1, Isaiah 11:12, and Job that earth must be a rhombus of some sort. It makes good biblical sense that God would have created earth to be the most perfect kind of rhombus possible. The most perfect kind of rhombus is the square. Its rectilinear corners perfectly match the rectitude of God. Therefore, the earth must be square. And if that's not enough to convince you, consider this. Of all the nations on earth today, God loves the United States of America. This is evidence from the songs like God Bless America and from the fact that Pat Robertson, God's chosen spokesman, lives in the U.S. America's national pastime is the game of baseball. Baseball is played on a diamond, which is perfectly square in shape, and which, I might add, has corners oriented to point towards the 4 compass points. God would not have made baseball into the national pastime of his favorite nation if he did not have a higher purpose in mind for it. Clearly, his higher purpose is to show us a true shape of the earth. The earth must be perfectly square, just like the diamond-shaped field in God's chosen sport is square. Yeah.
That was wild. It was just.
Hold on. Let me go to the Q&As because I was reading some of the Q&As.
Wait, though, people believe this? People follow these teachings, like, from this guy?
I listen. The one thing I've learned from this world is that there's always someone who is following some bullshit. And this is some bullshit I'm sure some people could get behind. So, okay. Listen to this one. Frequently asked questions. Can I believe in the round earth and still get into heaven? No. As you know, if you do not accept every word in the Bible as literally true, you are not really accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior and are doomed to burn in hell for all eternity. God won't let any half-ass believers into heaven. It's all like, couldn't the phrase four corners of the earth in Revelation 7:1 merely be a commonly used metaphor for the farthest reaches of the earth? Beware the slippery slope of interpreting a biblical passage as metaphor, for the way surely leads to death. Next, you'll be saying the earth wasn't created in 6 literal days, or that the earth wasn't literally split in two in Genesis 10:25. And then your daughter will grow up to be a temple prostitute, and your children will learn how to cast spells by playing Dungeons and Dragons. And locusts will descend upon Israel, and lions will lie down with lambs. They've already kicked God out of schools because of such things. Don't let Satan convert even more souls away from the one true way than he already has. Like, this dude is just like, I can't.
It just got crazier and crazier, like, as you continue to read.
So that's some Square Earth for you. Like, I couldn't really find a lot of Square Earth info other than that one. So if anyone out there, if you're a Square Earther and I have not insulted you in any way, I'm sorry if I did, but if you have any information, please tell me. Like, I really want to know. Please tell me.
Yeah, share more of this with us, because I'm just flabbergasted.
First of all, your daughter's gonna be a temple prostitute, so take that shit.
See, I jumped off the bus farther back. You have to believe that the Lord cares more about America,
yeah,
above any other country, instead of loving us all equally, which is, I thought, was supposed to be the main, like, theme.
Yeah. Oh, don't take
that...
themes, Kim. Don't take themes. You're going to hell.
That's not, no, he didn't say don't take themes. He said don't, what was it,
don't take these metaphorically.
Metaphors. I'm taking it at face value, that I thought that the theme of the book was that God loves us. It's love. All these things, he's sending these things down. These things are happening because he loves us. So now you're telling me that he doesn't love us each equally.
Now, this guy sounds more of a dude that believes in, like, what is that? What's that one? Of an angry God? What is it called? Hold on.
Oh, yeah,
what is that word?
Yeah. I forget what it's called, too. Because we talked about that in high school.
Sinners in the hands of an angry God. That's what he sounded like to me. Like,
yeah. I don't know. Like, speaking about this, I mean, it's kind of off subject, but I don't know why I always think about that artwork, the Gardens of Pleasurely Delight or something like that, where it had the 3 sections.
Oh, yeah,
where it had heaven, which literally just had, like, Jesus and, like, Adam and Eve, I think. And that was it. And then they have Earth, and I can't remember what was going on in Earth, because you don't pay attention to Earth, because all the craziness is in the 3rd panel, which is hell.
Oh,
and there's... everything is happening there. Like, it's a wild picture.
Shit.
I forget what it's called. It's something like of Earthly Delights. I gotta Google it. But I don't know why I randomly think about that picture all the time. And then there's a Kendrick Lamar song where he talks about, like, because I guess there's a specific amount of people who are supposed to be allowed into heaven. Mm-hmm. And he talks about how, like, there's 7 billion people in the world here today, which is, like, wild over that amount. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called Garden of Earthly Delights.
Oh, yeah, Garden of Earthly Delights, yep.
We learned so much in art class.
Art class was fun.
Shout out to Mr. Lunt.
Mr. Lunt.
Teaching us about this art.
Oh, yeah. So, because, like, I was talking about the Belfort experiment, this guy named Ulysses G. Morrow, he actually did a different test in Illinois with the drainage canal there.
Okay.
And he started seeing that the water was actually concaving up. So for him, he thought that that was pretty much proof that the earth was hollow and the humans and the universe lived on like the inside surface of the hollowness, I guess. So people also, on top of believing that the earth was flat, they were also like, okay, the earth is also hollow. So there's also those type of flat earth believers.
So not only are we flat, but there's also nothing on the inside.
Yeah, well, for some people, like, and a lot of them believe that, like, the hollowness in the inside were pretty much like, you know how there's earth, then there's the heavens above, and then the hollowness of the earth is like the underworld, where like all the sinners and shit like that went. So pretty much in that picture. In 1888, a Scottish Australian named John Alexander. You're gonna love this, Kim. John Alexander Dowie. He is an evangelicist and a faith healer. And in 1888, he came to the United States and he founded the Christian Catholic Church in Chicago. This church preached, you know, pretty much the flat earth ideology, and it was taking off. Like, his numbers went so high up that he was finally able to realize in 1901 to have a commune. So he pretty much had his own cult, Kim.
Yeah, I was like, once I heard commune, I'm like, and we're tiptoeing into cult territory.
Yep. And they were located on Lake Michigan. These people were called the Christian Catholic Apostolic? Yeah, they were called the Christian Catholic Apostolic Church in Zion. So, you know, for a long time, you know, things were going well and things like that. But I guess they were living a simple life. But at some point, the leader, Mr. Dowie, he ended up being more extravagant. So he ended up like getting this mansion that had like 25 rooms, and he started dressing in like these really, really like fancy over the top robes that some of his followers were like, dude, this is not like what we believe in and stuff like that. So they started to have like some problems with how he was living, or how he was like how much money he was spending, and his wife as well.
See, that's always the issue with these leaders. At first they're like, oh, we're all gonna be living this simple life, like everybody should be equal. Then all of a sudden they're like, maybe I'm not as equal as the rest of you guys because I'm the leader.
Exactly. But yeah, that's what started happening with him. But you know, like I said, karma always comes to bite you in the ass, because 6 years later he ended up having a stroke and he had to give up his position. So in February 1906, he found a man named Wilbur Glenn Viola, and this guy starts taking charge of the Christian Catholic Church of Zion. And at this time, they have about 6,000 followers, and, you know, they have their own, like, you know, community and stuff like that. So, of course, in the schools, they're going to be teaching fucking flat earth mentality and shit like that. And his prerogative was to have them young, because he wanted kids to grow up hearing this flat earth ideology. So when they get older, they can be, when they meet people who believe in a spherical earth, they could be like, no, that shit's not true, and this is why it's not true.
Yeah, because they've been raised to believe this way.
Exactly. But this guy also, very smart guy, he has like his own version of a podcast. He has a radio station, and in that radio station, all he does is educate people on flat earth and how to fight against astronomy and the evil of evolution. So you know he was not a guy to fuck with science. He was like, nah, fuck that shit.
The evil of evolution.
Exactly. The Zion police, man, they would wear helmets that said patience, and they would like on their shoulders, they would have like little like doves on them and shit like that. And on their belts, on top of carrying their fucking clubs, they had a Bible attached to their fucking pants.
Like a small one? Like those little orange testaments that they be handing out at the bus stop?
I don't think so. I think
they had a full size
right on the fucking
Bible.
Belt. Yep. Because like if they had
as
a little
belt
one...
buckle. As a belt buckle.
We representing Zion up in this bitch.
The fact that they have a uniform, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
way to go. If I ever
yeah.
started a cult, we're gonna have a uniform. I don't know what it is yet.
We'll get there. Hold on, we're still in the drafting points. Give us a second.
We gotta write down, take our notes for the cult.
Yep. So one of their rules was women cannot wear lipstick. There were no pharmacies.
I hate that. It always starts off with no makeup for the women.
Yeah.
Like what? What? This eyeliner isn't doing anything to you.
I know. Like, leave us alone. God damn it. But no lipstick for the women or men, I guess. There could be no pharmacies, no physicians, and there
Ooh.
was no whistling on Sundays.
I can't whistle anyway.
Me neither. But I was like, why? Like, why can't we whistle on Sunday? I guess I needed to be born in Zion to know. But it's like, really? Are you fucking serious?
No whistling on Sundays.
They were pretty much, all I need is the Bible. The Bible's all I need. It will teach me everything I need to know. It will not stray me. Like, we're good. So, the 40s rolled through, right? And, you know, at this point, Zion is in, they're financially struggling. So, you know, they're still trying to build up their clientele. But, you know, for some reason, it's not really working. So, in the 50s, there is no more Zion. At least not how it was before, you know, with the 6,000 followers and having, like, their own police and shit like that. Like, today, you can still go there. Like, Zion is still there. You can go, like, check it out and shit like that. But it's not as big as it used to be. If you live in Zion, please let me know if you are a flat earther. And let me know.
How is it being raised with this ideology? Like, what
Yeah.
do they teach you?
Yeah, just, you know, spit some knowledge at us.
Let us know.
Check us out on Instagram. Item 9
Item 9 podcast.
Check us out. Send us a DM, please. Okay. So in 1956, the Universal Celtic Society starts coming back in England with a guy named Samuel Shenton. He changes the name, the Universal Celtic Society, to what we know now as the International Flat Earth Society, where this guy starts writing brochures to say that they have factual evidence that is observable and can be proven. They also have memberships for people who want to join them. The only thing that they ask was that you call your president or his secretary to spread the word, to let them know that you're woke, that you know the truth, and you need to stop teaching all these lies in school. So that's pretty much what they wanted. That's all you needed to have. That's all you needed to do to enter this club. And they were hoping that by reaching the president and reaching them, that they would actually grow in numbers, and that way they can actually start having more meetings. So like you were saying, maybe that way they can come to a unified flat earth society instead of having all these sub branches. But
That's what they're missing. They're missing that unified ideology. Like, they're all over the place. Like, they just need to have a meeting.
Yeah, but you know, they have meetings, but I'm sure they're different sub branches or whatever they believe in. That's what kind of meetings they go to. They ask Shenton about the photos that were taken in, I think, 1946 by a satellite. And, you know, at first, he's like, you know what, nah, that's all a hoax. It's not true. It's probably just like, what is that shit called? A refraction or something like that. Like, something is showing a curve where there's no curve. Fisheye lens, something. After a while, he's like, maybe we do need to reevaluate our idea. We'll get back to you guys. But, you know, when they get back to them, they're like, no, that shit was photoshopped. That shit is not real. NASA's fake. It's a hoax. Fake news, you know. He's all like, NASA's just in the conspiracy to hide the true shape of the Earth.
True shape.
Yep, the true shape of the Earth. Unfortunately, in 1971, Shenton dies. So his wife actually ends up choosing his successor, which his name is Charles K. Johnson. And he becomes a president in 1971. And, you know, when you become president, you get to inherit all the books, all the proof, all that amazing stuff from your what is it? Because you are the predecessor. Well, from the one
No,
above
no. What? I don't know. Yeah.
you. Yeah,
The one before.
yeah, the one before. You get to inherit all their stuff. So, he starts a newspaper called the International Flat Earth News, and his goal is to restore the world to sanity. He ends up marrying this woman named Marjorie from Australia, and for him, she's a key point to why the Earth is flat. Because I don't know, all I know is that she sailed from Australia, but I'm not sure if she sailed from Australia all the way to the U.S., which is what I'm gonna guess she did. But he's all like, my wife sailed from Australia all the way to the U.S., and she was not upside down. She just did a straight shot, and that's how we know the Earth is round. I mean round. That's how we know the Earth is flat, because if she would have gone straight and she would have been in a sphere, at some point she would have had to tip over and had fallen off the Earth. Yeah, so he pretty much just used her as an example of why the Earth was flat. He had followers, but, you know, they didn't really pick up. Like, I think he said that he had, like, about 1,000 followers, like, all over the world. But in reality, he only had, like, 100 hardcore followers that, like, actually, like, really did stuff for their cause. Which even he said that he did have a lot of followers, but they weren't doing enough to help Flat Earth be what it could be. He also started realizing that the UN flag has a map of Flat Earth. So for him, he's like, that's another.
I've heard that too.
Yeah,
I've heard that too.
Yeah, he's like, this is another piece of evidence that's showing you that the Earth is really flat. They just don't want to tell you. They're trying to keep it secret for themselves. But yeah, that's pretty much all the Flat Earth. Well, the sad part about Charles Johnson is at some point his house catches fire. So all that proof, all that evidence that they had is just
They didn't have
gone.
it. Wait, what year was this?
1971.
They didn't have copies? They didn't have a file cabinet somewhere?
In the house that set fire.
They had
Yeah.
the one file cabinet. They didn't have an additional
Yeah.
file cabinet.
Yeah, no, that shit was on fire. So it's all gone. So they're starting from wherever they left off. But you know what? These kind of flat earthers are the ones that I just can't get behind, because it's like I just can't, like, they just seem like such close-minded people that are only using like religion as their form of evidence, which is like, we can't take this book and call it true.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything, because you know, we weren't there, we don't know. There's no way to read the Bible and be able to be like, this is true, or do experiments to figure out that these things actually happened.
Yeah, also
So-
there's the issue where there's multiple like versions of it.
Yeah,
Like
there's
they're
all
all,
the
you know,
time.
they all have like the basics, but then they're variations. So it's like, which one is the real one?
They're all real apparently in their eyes. The one they choose is the real one. But yeah, so a lot of flat earthers are not religious people at all. A lot of flat earthers believe that this theory is for everyone. And I guess the biggest takeaway from the people who aren't religious is they want to believe that we are here on Earth for a purpose, and not just because of some random Big Bang. They don't want to feel like we're just here from a mistake that happened millions and millions of years ago. He's like, this Earth is flat because we're meant to be on here. This Earth was made the way it was so we can survive, so we can take care of our Earth, so we can have a reason to live. And they're all like, if you just think about it as a Big Bang, he's like, what really, like, there is no purpose. What is the reason to living? And for them, this flat Earth ideology gives them a reason. Like, I have a purpose. This Earth was made for me to be here, not because of what science is saying. Well, not because of some of the depressing parts of science.
So part of their thing is that they're really just trying to figure out their purpose in the universe.
Exactly.
A lot of that is what that is.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be like, I'm here for a reason, not just because I'm here.
Yeah, and a lot of these flat earthers, they believe in science. They believe in gravity. They believe in evolution. They believe in that kind of stuff. It's just the shape of the earth that they're like, doesn't make sense. And like I'm saying, for us, we'll never be up there. We don't know. I'm listening to what NASA says. You're listening to it. We are all listening to that.
Not until we have that space concert.
Exactly. That's when we'll finally know, like, oh shit, look at that shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They believe that a lot of these other subunits of flat earth are actually in cahoots with like the conspiracy part of it, because they're all like, these flat earth people make it seem like such a turnoff to believe it, that they're actually doing it so more people won't wake up. Like, more logical people won't wake up to actually be like, I'm actually interested, let me go in and research and see what's going on with this flat earth. Because, you know, when you hear flat earth, everyone's like, nah, that shit's stupid, that's ridiculous, like, listen to this. And then all you hear is about these crazy people who don't believe in gravity, don't believe in science, and it's like, you don't want to hear that. But these people are like, no, that's not what we're like. We believe in this because we've been lied to about so many things, that how are we to know that they're not lying to us about the shape of the earth? And for them,
No, I haven't formulated a point yet.
Okay.
I'm just thinking.
so for them, they're all like, so, you know, it makes you think, like, what's the point of lying about the fucking shape of the earth? Like, why lie about such a stupid thing? And they're all like, the reason why they're not telling us the truth is because the Freemasons, or the people up on top who run this world, are doing this because they want control. They want to give us information, and they want us to take that as truth. They want us to believe that we're just here for no reason. So that's why when people go to work a 9-to-5 job for nothing, they're like, well, there's nothing else for me to do. Like, what else am I going to do in this world? Like, I was placed in here by accident. I'm going to die here by myself. So that's what you're saying. Like, if you know that you have a purpose, you were here for a reason. When you have to work that 9-to-5 job, you're going to be like, I don't want to work
what is the purpose?
And that's the thing that they don't know, and that's what they're trying to figure out. They want people to finally see that the earth is flat and we've been lied to. And they want us to start asking questions like, why would he lie to us? What brought us here? Who are creators? Maybe, from all we know, is the ancient ones were right this whole time. Like, we're on a fucking turtle and we just gotta talk to the turtle and figure out, why are we here? Something, you know?
I don't know. In my head, with the turtle thing, I just assume that we're just something growing on their back.
We're just a
parasite.
Yeah. No, not it. Where's the one that I remember we talked about it last time? The one where we worked together.
Yeah. When I was like, we never figured it out.
Yeah. Hold on.
We never figured it out.
We're a symbiotic parasite.
I guess. I don't know. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, they have the whole thing where in the beginning people were on turtles.
Mm-hmm.
But there's multiple turtles.
Yeah.
And there's different people, you know, different like groups living on different turtles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can get off the turtle, and there's also land that the turtle walks on.
Maybe they're swimming. But yeah, so pretty much all these people are just pretty much just done with all the lies from the government. So for them, it's just like, this is their way to be like, listen, we're checking you guys. We're trying to make sure you guys know that we're just not going to listen to the shit you're saying to us, that we're actually going to do our own research. And until you guys can prove us wrong and show us, then we're not going to believe it. And that's pretty much what's happening. Like, you know, you can talk to a flat earther all you want. They're not going to believe you until they actually see it. And the point is, they're not going to see it because they're not...
Well, they've chosen something that's very difficult to have regular people see.
Yeah.
Because, okay, say if they're not lying to us, all the things that we've been taught about the shape of the earth. Because, okay, like Neil deGrasse Tyson...
Oh, they hate Thompson? That dude.
What's his last name? Neil deGrasse...
Tyson.
I knew it was a T. Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about how the Earth isn't a perfect circle. It's not a ball. It's kind of pear-shaped. I'm like,
Yeah.
which makes sense because it's like we're literally on a giant rock.
Yeah.
Like, you don't find rocks naturally being a perfect ball. You know,
Circle,
most of the time they're round, they're circular, but you know, they're not perfect. And so he said it's closer to like pear shape almost. Like we're just on a big round rock.
Yeah, and they do bring that up. They're all like, listen, this whole time you guys are telling us we're a fucking circle. Now this other scientist dude is telling us we're a fucking pear. He's like, you guys are not together on this. Who is to say that we're not actually flat? And that's one of
But-
their arguments.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, what if somebody figures something out? Like, okay, let's take a couple of your leaders up there.
Yeah.
We'll take if they can let's say in a world where they got it together and they had one ideology. Let's say the clock one
Yeah.
with the ice around the outside, and then the sun and the moon just like move around in a circle. So say if they had like three leaders from their group, varying age groups, like varying ages and stuff.
Shoot them up to space.
They're like, okay, you know what? We have the funding. We're gonna just take y'all up there. You're gonna do the training for a year, get your body right, and then you and several veteran astronauts and scientists that we know that have gone up there, y'all gonna go and do like a little trip. Y'all gonna go up there, check out the space station, and then y'all gonna come back down.
Yeah. You know what?
Like, so then what happens then? Like, what's gonna continue? Because they're so wrapped up in it, I think, the issue. Even if that did happen,
Yep.
and then their people come back down, they're like, okay, like, we took pictures with our regular cameras. This is what we saw. They're not lying to us. The Earth is round.
Ish.
Their people are gonna be like, they've paid you. You guys are lying.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're gonna say, and that's
Because
one
there's
of
no
their
way to
points,
take
too.
all of them. There's
Yeah,
no way
no.
that they can take all of them. Like,
At
and
least
I'm
not
like,
now. At least not now.
yeah, when they start having those space colonies, when we move over to Mars, then
We'll see
you
it.
can just look at it from your window. But yeah, there's
Yeah.
no way. There's no way. Like, they can literally take some of their leaders, take them up there. They get their own proof, collect it themselves. They could live tweet. Like, I don't know if they brought Wi-Fi up there on somehow, and they're gonna be like, they bought you guys out. You guys are traitors now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that they do believe. They're all like, they don't believe that everyone in our government is lying to us. They're like, listen, we've all been conditioned to believe the same thing for so long. Obviously, a lot of them believe it because that's what you're being taught. But
Yeah.
the high ups, the ones with the real power, real high up there, they're the ones who know.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna feel like those people up there just paid them. Like, listen, you're just gonna be part of the clog in the machine. Like, now you guys will be talking about spherical Earth, not believing what their own people are saying.
Yeah.
But maybe one day we will all come to an agreement.
They.
They will come to. They just
Because to
pretty
be
much-
honest, I don't care. Like, and then at the same time, like, if I had, like, if it was, I don't know, like, if I had to choose between, like, Flat Earth and, like, The Matrix, I would lean more towards The Matrix. Like, this is a simulation. So, I don't,
No.
I don't care. We here,
We here.
and that's all that matters. Like,
Yeah, it's true. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people. I just feel like for flat Earth people, it's kind of like I said, like a religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you meet someone else who is a flat earther, like, you guys have something in common. You know what I mean? And then you guys have those crazy flat earthers, and you two, I guess, sane flat earthers are like, look at those crazy ass motherfuckers call themselves flat. It's just a way to keep people together. You know what I mean? At least for them.
Yeah.
Something to bond over. And it's cool, like, I don't mind. I love, actually, that they're out there doing experiments, doing things that are keeping them, intrigued, and doing things that make them happy. Like, that's cool, because, not everyone gets to do that. Like, some
Yeah.
of us, like, some of us, like me, are part of a clog in the machine, and we're working our 9 to 5s and shit like that, and I'm cool with that. Like, I don't need to be no fucking outstanding crazy ass person, you know what I mean? But if that's what you need to do, you know, you go out there and you do it, you know what I mean? Do what makes you happy. And as long as they're not harming anyone, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But then we get into that slippery slope where, like, it's dangerous, you know what I mean? We're getting to, like, the point where, like, now people aren't going to believe anything. And it's just, like, there's certain things that we need to be able to believe and know that it's true. And certain things that we do need to question. Like, obviously, we can't trust the man. We all know that shit.
I think that's what we all have
in common.
We've collectively decided you can't trust the man.
Exactly.
If we ever have merch, I'm gonna write that down. You can't trust the man.
You can't trust the man, and that's what everyone has in common. Because I feel like it's true. The government is not looking out for us. They're looking out for themselves.
For them, yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like if anything we should take from Flat Earth is that, like, we should always
question everything.
Question everything to a certain extent, you know what I mean? But mostly the man. You question that motherfucker. You interrogate that fool right there. You're like, hold on. There has to be a reason why you're doing this, and it's not for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Flat Earth forever, man. That's that about that.
That's that about that.
That's that about that, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Listen, if any
I would...
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I would suggest, like, I don't know if it's still on there, but if that, I don't remember what the documentary is called, but if you type in Flat Earth on Netflix, it shows up.
Yeah, it does.
You should definitely watch that, because you're not just hearing the same thing from, like, the same people. Like, they have different Flat Earthers who have different beliefs, and they're all talking about it. So you get to hear a little bit of everybody. You hear some from those of them who are doing the experiments, some who are not.
Yeah.
Like, they did, I think, from my point of view, because that's the only documentary I've seen on them.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think they did a good job of trying to round it out. Like, let me get a little bit from each type of Flat Earther. They went to, like, conventions. Like, they really tried to get, so you can kind of get a feel for them.
Yeah.
They even stop at, like, a science convention with actual scientists who talk about it. And one thing that I really thought was interesting was one scientist was like, look, we need to stop writing them off as crazy people, because a lot of us, when we had, you know, thoughts on things, people thought we were crazy until we were able to prove it. So we need to treat them that same way so that we can educate them, and then, you know, they figure out what's right from there.
And that's exactly, I think, the main thing that I was trying to say about them is, like, we just need to figure out a way to teach them, for them to understand. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, you come at me with some math or some theoretical ass shit with some fancy ass words, the high chances of me understanding is very low. Because obviously I didn't go to university to learn some quantum mechanics shit, you know what I mean?
Also, don't put me down for math.
Exactly. So it's like, show me something that I can understand. Like, dumb it down if you have to, but just help me understand. Let me know. Because that's why you guys are there. You guys are there to educate us, and that's what we want. Now, if you guys are going to be talking shit about us, calling us crazy, when you come up in here and try to teach me shit, I'm not going to believe it, because I'm going to think you're making fun of me. Like, I don't know. So, my thing is, like, as always, golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated, and maybe one day we will all come to a conclusion. Maybe the earth is flat. Maybe the world is a pear. We don't fucking know, but we'll get there together.
Maybe it's a square. I mean, not a square. Maybe it's a triangle. We're living on a pyramid.
God. I did see something about the triangle one, but I didn't look into it. I was like, I'm good.
All right, let's pull this oracle card for the week.
Let's go.
All right. So this week's oracle card is number 5. Your favorite number. Becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger, fresh perspective.
Hey, it's like it went with our topic. Wow.
Fresh perspective. We was just talking about that. So,
and you gotta be brave to be a flat earther.
You being real. All right. So it says you have been tested. The development of strength and resilience through the courageous meeting of challenges. The demonstration of great character. the acknowledgement of how much you have learned, the ability to cope with so many little things due to a great ordeal endured with grace, dignity, and humor. Testing times show true character.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. And in these crazy times, we're starting to see true character out there.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I guess you could just take it as it is. Just be brave. If there's something you want to do, fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
It's time. Like,
Yeah.
do what makes you happy. And it's gonna be scary. Everything you do in life is like, if it wasn't scary, it's not worth doing. So
yeah.
get out there, fucking do it, and you got this shit. You got this. Get out there.
All right. Well,
Well,
thank you guys for listening.
Mm-hmm.
We always have a lot of fun making these.
Yeah, thanks guys for listening to our rants. It's very nice. Thank you. Hopefully, if there's anything you guys ever want to hear us talk about, anything that you think we should look into, go ahead and send us your requests on Instagram, Item 9 Podcast. Just send us a DM. You can see
suggestions,
anything, please. Just talk to us.
Just tell us how we're doing.
Tell us how you feeling. Anyway, but yeah, just anything you need, just send it to us through there. We'll be here next Friday, and we'll have another episode. This is Hyra.
And Kim.
And don't forget, you're the bee's knees.
Item 9.
Bye.
Bye.